And we are live, loaded into the draft for Infernal Shrines here in Care League Week 4. My name is Terraspaz, and I'm here to bring to you a match between the real Ultimate Mosh Pit on the blue team and Gatetes Gaming on the red team. It's not that funny a team. It's not that funny. I don't mean to laugh, but we had a big discussion about how to pronounce it, and we colossally failed to figure that out. So I'm going to make a best guess and see where things go. Gatetes bring to us a map selection on Infernal Shrines. So we'll see how that plays out, because we know almost nothing about this team. They've the first season in Chair League. They've decided to start up in Division 2, and it seems to be working as they're currently on a 1-0 record coming late into the season, but still very much in contention for the playoffs if they have a strong performance. Meanwhile, Real Ultimate Mosh Pit enjoys a 2-1 streak, kind of stumbling a bit there, but back on the road to Victory Town for the remainder of the season. Varian and Murky the bans, not a huge surprise. Varian can be really troublesome to deal with if you're not real familiar with it, and Murky is just annoying 100%. There's nothing more frustrating than spending a whole bunch of resources to get a quarter of a kill across the map. Ragnaros first pick, real strong first pick for Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. There's a whole bunch of value you get, being able to have just a big chunk of damage to try and win the Punisher for yourself. If you win the Punisher and roll over a fort, or a keep, you can immediately possess that building and crush out even more damage. If you lose the Immortal, you can possess your own building and protect your own health pool and sustain Punisher on the other side. I wonder if you timed it right, if Ragnaros could draw aggro from the Punisher while channeling the building, get the Punisher to jump, and then be on the building before the stun happened. I think that would that'd be one of the most pro things I could see from Ragnaros on this map. That'd be just the slickest thing. Lucio and ETC the picks for Gatetes, and it's a wonderful departure. So many times we've seen ETC Malfurion just immediately snap pick. We're second. Well, this is what we're doing. We're gonna get someone in Gloom. It's nice to see Lucio in the mix. Definitely seen a lot of him in a quick match over the last couple weeks, and Lucio's really been excellent at enabling some of the heroes with no escape. Your Gatetes, your Bala, and suddenly they're able to blow out some damage and then run away. They have a tool way, and that something that very few heroes can bring, and Lucio brings that just with ease. With the tap of a key, everyone's running fast. With the tap of another key, everyone's running even faster. Diablo and Malfurion picks for Ultimate Mosh Pit. We've got a lot of strong engagement tools. Help Ragnaros just pummel away, beat someone up. So we'll see how things pan out. But they've got a very strong front line already in Kerrigan the band for Gatetes, and doesn't look like they're not comfortable with Kerrigan, and Real Ultimate Mosh Pit could certainly pick one up. They've got the place for it, and Kerrigan, this is probably one of her strongest maps. Just being able to bounce from minion to minion. In real good shape there, and with a whole lot of walls in the area, it's easy to get a good grab on someone as they can't run away quite as fast. Band coming out for Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. I guess I would expect to see maybe a strong solo laner taken out here, like maybe Anis or a Thrall. Or Sonya is also pretty strong here too. Being able to just spin around and chop up a whole bunch of enemies can make her real tricky to kill if you don't have a whole lot of stuns. And right now they've only got the one basic stun from Diablo. I guess he has two. I guess technically the overpower stuns you as you're being. Kel'Thas to pick for Gatetes and pull a bunch of damage, and small clustered areas is where Kel'Thas can excel. Just obliterating entire waves and very little time. So that's if Gatetes can protect him very well, then I think they're going to have a lot of success. But right now, ETC and Lucio have got their work cut out for them. Tychus is also potentially a very consumable hero that Real Ultimate Mosh Pit could just gobble up. Heading into the last pick, a lot of directions they could go. They've certainly got some space for a bunch more damage to punish whoever they can isolate from running out of Gatetes. So we're just going to stay with Gatetes and hope that's right. But I may pick up another warrior here. I'm still not totally discounting the idea of Artanis. That does leave them kind of low on wave clear, though. Might have to be thinking about that, because beyond Ragnaros, they really don't have all that much. Could be something they prioritize. And Greymane and Zarya, so they should be absolutely fine on damage, and they should be able to really maximize that Greymane with the Sonya pick. They've got plenty of engagement tools to stop some of the damage coming out of Gatetes, really disrupt the back line, and that shield is just gonna allow Greymane to go absolutely nuts for a little. Give Zarya plenty of charge right at the start of the engagement, which is most. So, good overall build from Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. I think they came in with a plan. They got what they were hoping for, and we'll see what Gatetes responds with to close out their team. And I gotta think they pick another frontliner here. This is a whole lot of work for ETC to carry on his own shoulders. Rockin' as they may be. We'll see what they managed to pick up here. Oh, and they go with a Nubarak, someone to sort of counter dive the other team. Malfurion better watch himself, because there's a beetle with his name written all over him somewhere. There's a big shell. There's a lot of space. Statistically speaking, there has to be his name somewhere on the shell just by sheer volume. Surface area around. But draft's complete. We'll be on our way to Infernal Shrines here in a bit. Don't go anywhere. We will right there. So, I mean, just looking at these teams, if Real Ultimate Mosh Pit can get a strong engagement on someone, then I think that's their easiest route to victory, right? Because Lucio can really enable a lot of escapes. Tychus has a dash. Really, everybody has a self-escape tool except Kel'Thas, and Lucio's there to help back him up. If they can get that quick engagement, they'll be in great shape. Otherwise, it won't be that hard for Gatetes to regroup and potentially come back. But we are loaded into Infernal Shrines here in Division 2 Chair League. Bringing up this thing here is excellent tool that I was talking about before that didn't quite help. For the blue team, for Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, we have Denkstrom on Diablo, Peruvian Jedi on Greymane, Rolf the Dog on Malfurion, Real Rad Dad on Ragnaros, and Judge Bread on Zarya. And for Gatetes Gaming, we've got Jurassic on ETC, El Trapo on Tychus, Engendro on Anubarak, Pent on Kel'Thas, and Ruvlo on Lucio. Gates are down, teams are headed down to immediate violence as ETC takes a Gilman cocktail straight to the face, but mostly shrugs it off. Both teams looking for an engagement, and Gatetes Gaming moving real far forward, trying to find that angle they want. Dengstrom lying in wait to just grab whoever wanders by out of position, and that might be ETC. No, it looks like he's gonna be in a safe position. A crucial Zarya shield to keep herself and ETC safe, and pour a whole bunch of energy into the tank. Meanwhile, Gatetes already in position in lanes. Looks like we're going to have Anubarak and Ragnaros starting out in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, El Trapo's Tychus is going to duel against Peruvian Jedi and potentially Rolf the Dog here shortly. We'll see if the engagement comes up, but Trapo's going to play it safe. And the big brawl here in the middle is 3-on-2 in favor of Gatetes Gaming. And so far, a bit of a stalemate here in mid. Looks like Real Ultimate Mosh Pit's going to continue to steadily apply pressure here to the top lane, start drinking ammo from this shrine. Pent and Rovlo do respond, and a well-placed route will ensure that no one's going to get caught out of position. That does leave ETC alone in bottom to stand up to Diablo and Zarya, and not going to be able to do anything crazy, but he will be able to stand there and bomb up some experience. Meanwhile, it looks like Anubarak and Ragnaros are going to stick it out in the bottom to maintain that soak. And both teams just kind of trickling in to the shrine here. Real Ultimate Mosh Pit in position to start, grabbing the first few early minions. Is looks like everybody's coming full bore to the fight. If not immediately, but fairly soon. And with ETC, we've got everybody on the board around the shrine. A lot of damage coming out against Peruvian Jedi, and he will get stunned and glued to oblivion as he's the first takedown of the game. And Gatetes able to force Real Ultimate Mosh Pit off of the point and potentially start scooping up some minions of their own. Oh, big root coming out of Malfurion is going to potentially send El Trapo into some concern, but he's like, nah, I got a big gun. I'm just going to keep shooting it, and then you're going to be the one dead. So Gatetes still in control of the shrine. Only 7 minions to their name, but should be able to scoop up a whole bunch more before Greymane comes back. But Real Ultimate Mosh Pit should have an opportunity to contest this if they want. Experience still relatively even for both teams. Greymane once again back in the fight, so we can look to see the engagement. Looks like it's going to be on ETC, but he will able to withstand that. A big clump up is going to send Real Ultimate Mosh Pit scattering to the hills. Dengstrom almost able to get the takedown on Jurass C, but just barely not able to close the deal. And so Gatetes still in control of the shrine, but minion count's awfully close. There's only about 8 or 9 lead. ETC taking a whole bunch of damage with an engagement. Is he able to escape? Yes. But now El Trapo's fairly low too. Real Rad Dad has to tap and get ready for the Punisher coming in, because it is certainly going to Gatetes Gaming. With that, we see Diablo realizing he can't really do anything to the Punisher, just go and soak some experience down in the bottom lane there. Meanwhile, Gatetes Gaming, seeing they probably won't get a huge engagement that they want, decide to go lane themselves, trying to get some, maybe potentially get a pick on Diablo. Let's see if they are able to succeed. No, it's unlikely that Kelthus and Lucio are going to... Oh, in fact, somehow Lucio, I don't know if he got flipped over the wall or what, but he does get taken out by Dengstrom. It's a shame we missed that, because that was a 2v1, and it did not go Gatetes' way. So well read by Diablo. It's gonna be the saddest part of the match that we missed that takedown. Engagement here in the top lane. Casting is 0 for 2 in catching cool takedowns of the game. as Ragnaros falls to Tychus and ETC. Peruvian Jedi being very aggressive, trying to threaten this ETC Tychus, is able to stay alive, but can't quite get to the fountain tap. Gotta watch out for that grenade. He can't be able to withstand a whole lot of that, but Zarya is there with the shield to keep him standing. So Greymane able to stake around long enough to enable Sonya and or Zarya and Ragnaros Parth. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Diablo v Anubarak and Kel'Thas, battle for the century will probably just result in a lot of walking around and poking and prodding. Big contest here in the middle as Siege Camp is active for Gatetes Gaming, pushing here in the mid lane. Brian active in 10 seconds in mid as well. Ragnaros and company in the top lane getting bruiser camps for Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. So we'll have some really interesting board setup as Gatetes have a camp on the bottom. Ultimate Mosh Pit has a camp on the top. Oh, but Diablo in a bit of peril. Lucio trying to enable the chase, doesn't quite get there. Does take a lot of damage, but does manage to escape. Gatetes on the point first, mowing down the first wave of minions fairly quickly, just about up to 10. And Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, their window for engagement is limited, as Gatetes is definitely going to have heroics before Trump or before Real Ultimate Mosh Pit is able to. But the damage comes down on ETC. He has to power slide away. He's going to have to play it safe for just a little bit until he can get his health pool back in proper order. And Ultimate Mosh Pit is able to force Gatetes off of the point and start collecting minions themselves. During all that, Tychus went and cleaned up the mercenary camp up in the top lane. Camp still active for Gatetes in the bottom, so you should see a lot of value out of that. Damage pouring out onto Greymane and Malfurion, but they are able to escape. Heroics active for Gatetes, and Real Ultimate Mosh Pit have to be very careful about how they engage on this. And a victim of their own hubris, perhaps. Greymane falls to a Mosh Pit of Gatetes' own, and it looks like Zarya is going to fall along with. So very strong position for Gatetes Gaming. Mercenary camp still active in the bottom lane. Punisher almost in hand for Gatetes. Let's see if they have any reason to delay this. And they say, nope, we've got to strike while the iron's hot and while they're down a man. So Frozen Punisher barreling in on mid. No one in position to try and draw the jump yet. No one really wants to be that guy, but Ragnaros is going to pop his trait and try and zone out the rest of the members of Gatetes Gaming. And by zone out, I mean absolutely murder, as Jurassic takes a whole bunch of damage, but does manage to escape. And ultimately, could be a solid defense from a Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, but that Punisher just managed to root and damage a whole bunch of folks. Good job from Ultimate Mosh Pit hanging on to their fort with almost no damage. Unfortunately, bottom lane took a severe amount of damage from that Merc camp that pushed for quite some time. Able to get a lot of work done. Heroics now online for Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, and if they wanted to take a fight now, cooldowns are still fairly active for Tychus and ETC. If they had an immediate opportunity, they might go for it, but it's close, and you can't see the cooldowns on the other teams. It's really hard to know. Is that Mosh Pit up? Is that laser up? Feels like it might be. Better not take a fight. Both teams are retreating to siege camps to scoop them up. Meanwhile, Kel'Thas and Ragnaros are going up in the top lane, trying to keep that experience up. Kel'Thas, at least in the short term, winning better of it. Range means a lot. Gatetes Gaming rotating down to keep up the pressure with their level advantage, taking this bottom siege camp. Might see a bit of an engagement here as Real Ultimate Mosh Pit comes in, realizing they're outnumbered, decides not to go for it, and just backs out, leaving forward to another day. Another much more desperate day. We see the rotation coming out of Gatetes Gaming. Lucio engages the turbo boost to try and catch Greymane out of position. Greymane retreats well in time. And so far, a lot of good rotations, a lot of good poking, a lot of good objective management, or camp management. Ultimate Mosh Pit should be able to clean this up. El Trapo, a bit, just dodges the roots. That could have definitely been the end of it. Oh no! Diablo just pushes him on the other side of the gate. Just gets into safety. That is the least happy thing. Here comes the Mosh Pit from Jurassic. Silence comes out from Malfurion, but it's not enough to save Greymane. As so far we've got a 1-0 in favor of Gatetes Gaming. They are in hot pursuit, trying to see what else they can clean up on this, and it doesn't look like they can get a whole lot more as Ultimate Mosh Pit retreats behind the safety of their fort. And Ragnaros has to be a bit careful as the rotation does come up. Shrine active on the top lane. And a whole bunch of diving coming out of Gatetes Gaming. And just all sorts of ultimates being popped out. Lasers down, sound barriers is popped. But for all that, not an incredible amount of value, as many members of Ultimate Mosh Pit still at decent health pools. And all the heroics on cooldown for Gatetes Gaming, so if Ultimate Mosh Pit wants to take an engagement, they'll definitely have the advantage if they can bring their force to bear. About 20 minions in hand for Gatetes Gaming, trying to secure this one up. Expulsion zone pop to prevent any kind of retreat, but nothing coming from that yet. Phoenix does go down. So far, nothing else. Peruvian Jedi falling fairly low. Judge Red falling fairly low. El Trapo as well, but looks like El Trapo is going to fall. Diablo does almost get the takedown on Kelthus, does fall in the end. Kelthus able to escape. Judge Bread gets a nice speed boost from Ragnaros to help escort him to safety, but Lucio just tenaciously in pursuit, but way too deep as Real Rad Dad comes by and drops the bad news straight on his head. Dropping the bad news there is a play on words for dropping the beat. I'm hip, I really am. Punisher goes in on the top lane. Dangstrom draws the aggro, but a whole bunch of damage coming out. Anubarak in this entire fight is just kind of a tangled mess as ETC and Anubarak are just interwoven with Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, but the disruption wasn't quite enough. Real Ultimate Mosh Pit able to escape and contest at the keep with 5. Punisher going directly ham on Greymane, and looks like he is out of range of the keep, which is a bit unfortunate. Now taking keep shots. A bit unfortunate positioning there from the Punisher, but will able to save any major damage from the keep. So meanwhile, Gatetes Gaming with a level 16 to 14 advantage. 1 fort down. The only structure, the only major defensive structure taken down so far this game. But now they have an avenue to win. Their camp, the Breacher camp's going to be up in about 40 seconds or so. So it's not inconceivable to take that before the next objective and have that pushing in a lane where Ultimate Mosh Pit can't really afford to concede any damage. So it's not, it's by no means a death stroke to Ultimate Mosh Pit, but it does kind of put them a little bit on the ropes. They gotta continue to play defense and make sure they react quickly. Speaking of reacting quickly, we see the rotation from Gatetes Gaming up to try and get a pick on this Ragnaros. Ragnaros sees what's up. Will he be able to get out in time? Yes, he does. So very good timing from Rag there. It's always good to have an internal clock for things like, hey, all right, I don't know if he saw them moving north or if he just said, well, I can't see them. It's been a little while. I should definitely. Level 16 talents are online for Ultimate Mosh Pit, so they're going to have a little bit of a chance to try and take an engagement here. They try and get the steal on this mercenary camp, but not quite able to get it. ETC isolated from the rest of his team, but Ultimate Mosh Pit is going to have to not retreat. Instead, they're going to have to go directly ham on ETC, but that's going to spell a little bit of disaster for Diablo, as Living Bomb is going to send him not back to hell, is going to send him to the graveyard for a bit. Malfurion burns his ult to try to save himself, but I don't think that's going to be exactly what the doctor ordered. Peruvian Jedi also leading away. Is Living Bomb going to be enough? Oh, the laser assisting in the takedown. And a 4-for-0 almost out of nowhere from Gatetes Gaming. Is that engagement was absolutely not what Real Ultimate Mosh Pit was hoping for there. So with this, Real Ultimate Mosh Pit almost certainly has to concede any chance of this Punisher in the bottom lane, which admittedly isn't so bad. It's not nearly as pushed in as top or mid, so they're going to have a little bit more of a reprieve to save this. But they do clean up the mercenary camp. Ragnaros should have his trade available, so they should be able to pretty easily save this as well. Mosh Pit still are now with 5 members on the map, but not really in any good position to take this. And Gatetes Gaming just continuing to push the advantage to add a thick layer of siege camp onto their Punisher Souffle. And we see Mosh Pit with their about their only recourse to hang back at home and wait for the inevitable a punishment wave that comes over. Punisher goes ham on Zarya, goes ahead and soaks up a whole bunch of energy. Unfortunately, being led kind of far away from the defensive structures that might aid in taking this down. Ragnaros channel goes out, interrupted by a Nubrak at the last second, and is going to get the takedown on Rag. Greymane falls as well, so with 2-for-0 in favor of Gatetes Gaming. Zarya desperately trying to escape as well. Malfurion might not make this as well, but they are going to make it all 3 to safety. Keep still up, can't get any damage on the keep now. It's the core now. Finally, keep is taken down, so Gatetes Gaming is going to turn on this, get the takedown on Zarya. Punisher still just incessantly chasing Diablo, now punching a building to death. Sound barrier engaged just to ensure that nothing wonky happens, and it looks like Gatetes Gaming is going to take the round and the match. Should have been. And what a back and forth match there, especially in the early game. But I think things were run fairly well for both teams. It was pretty consistent up until that very aggressive engagement by Mosh Pit on Gatetes Bruiser's side of the map. I know they had the isolation on ETC, and if they gotten the pick and gone on to roll, they would have definitely looked like the hero. But that's a really risky place to be. If you can pick it up, awesome. But if something goes wrong, you've got a really long way to run to get back to safety. That ultimately cost them. I think that was a 4-hero takedown at that stage of the game, but. And I want to give an absolute high five to Engendro there at the end for getting that crucial last-second interrupt on Ragnaros. I think it might have been just a matter of frames before they've got a raid boss standing in their face, and instead of getting a keep and eventually the game, maybe they get nothing. Maybe they get some damage on the keep, have to leave. Absolute play of the game there. I was quite crucial. All in all, well enjoyed across the board. Gatetes Gaming with that continue their streak to 2-0, remaining undefeated so far in kind of a late entry to division. And Real Ultimate Mosh Pit are going to equalize at 2. So they've got plenty of season ahead of them, plenty of time to achieve greatness and win very bigly. We'll wish both teams the best of luck in weeks to come. Unfortunately, there is only one W, and today that W goes to Gatetes Gaming, Gatetes Gaming, Gatetes Gaming, however you call it. They're your winners. And my name's been Terraspaz, and I'll see you in the Nexus. Take care.